You guys voted for this in this channel and you voted for the rebuild of FC Girondins de Bordeaux. Now, this is a club at time of recording that may or may not exist next season due to a lot of financial worries that the club have. And it's a shame to see such a French giant in such a bad shape. Not too long ago, they were winning Ligue 1 and had some unbelievable players like Zidane. All of that feels like such a long time ago now, and it's time to bring back the good times at Bordeaux because this may be the last time we see them in the current form in a football manager game, and the chance cannot be missed to rebuild this historic French football club. Here we go. Heim goes to Bordeaux. Now, I'm excited about this rebuild. They are currently in the French second division and predicted to finish first this year and go back to Ligue. We've got fierce rivals in Toulouse, so hopefully we can smash them to bits when we play them. We were formed in 1881, one of France's oldest clubs. And as I mentioned, it's a shame to see such a French giant in such a bad position. Now, this is the best formation that they say we should go for is a 4-3-3, and here are the players that are looking like they are the best. You've got Johansson and Simba, Barbe, Pedro Diaz, Ignactenko, Davat Shili, who was very good in a few saves ago that I've seen on for Georgia. He could be absolutely class for us in this rebuild. Now, the owner is Gerard Lopez. Now, I know he is much hated in real life and has run the club into a mad situation, but we have to work with him as this is what they are in the current games: win promotion to Ligue 1, be competitive in the French Cup, and we've basically just got to survive in Ligue 1 and build our way through. I would love to pick up a French trophy at some point, maybe a French Cup or the French version of the League Cup. We're definitely going to hopefully pick up promotion in the first season as well. His expectation of develop players using the club's youth, reach the playoffs, be competitive against Toulouse and Nantes. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be a great build. We're going to skip straight into season 1 and see how we got in our first season in charge of this historic football club. Our season was absolutely flying. We beat FC Annecy 4-0 to kick off an unbelievable run of results to put us in the race for the title in the first season in charge of the football club, looking to bounce into Ligue 1 at our first opportunity, but we had some big games ahead of us. First up was a tie against second place AS Saint Etienne, and we went in front via a great move and finish from Sissoko. What a finish. He's finessed it past the goalkeeper early on to put a statement performance out in this game, but Saint Etienne were looking dangerous as the game went on. In the 64th minute, they came from behind to level up the game. No defence in sight, and just blasted it past Strasiak in goal. And it was looking all them after this point, but late on, our club was not to be denied, and Bordeaux were going to rise from the ashes, and rise from the ashes we did. Top goal scorer Vipotnik doing what he does, putting the ball in the back of the net, putting us in charge in the game. They threw everything they had at us, and in the 93rd minute, we came good. We finished them off with a 3-1 victory to set up a run of games that we could secure the title. We knew a win against Grenoble would set up a game against Pau FC to win the title, and we took our first chance of the game very well, and Simba turning into prime Roberto Carlos to put us in front, and it was a walkover in this game, 4-0. Grenoble had no chance in my humble opinion. We absolutely dominated them, setting up a tie to win the title against Pau FC. There was no nerves in the dressing room as we walked out onto the pitch. We are playing our best side apart from Vipotnik, who is carrying a knock, so he starts on the bench. Ellis starts up front. Our form's incredible. Their form is terrible. They did win the last game. They're looking to scupper our chances of winning the title. As you can see, absolutely smashing it above Saint Etienne. 4 games to go. So many points clear. Come on, the boys. Let's go out and secure our first title of this rebuild. First goal of the game comes for Bordeaux, and it's Bacoli with a big header, and we have one hand on the title. And the game was wrapped up in the 44th minute, where Livalent finded Simba, and then Simba just finessed it past the goalkeeper to make it 3. The title is coming to Bordeaux. That's it. We have done it. We are Ligue 2 champions. First attempt. We are back in Ligue 1, and we're building Bordeaux from the ashes back to being France's biggest club. We will have an amazing season next season, I am sure. But this season, we've won the title. We've done so well. These boys deserve absolutely everything. It is firework and ticker tape time for the first time in this rebuild. Come on, Bordeaux, and come on, the boys. The second season in charge of Bordeaux kicked off with a heavy transfer spend in our first season in Ligue. We've brought in some great players. Johan Cabral, what a player he will be for this football club. Pacey winger out from Sporting Lisbon. Other players I'll show you is Eddie Salcedo. What a player he could be. An advanced forward with a lot of talent. Plus players like Marek Rodak coming into the squad to play number 1 for this football club. We needed a goalkeeper. He was the guy we chose. And Anderson Arroyo, a very good young Colombian from Liverpool. This season had a lot of prospects and a lot of future to it. How well will we do in our first season in Ligue 1? The season was a very up and down season, having some very bad results, some draws, some ups and downs. But in this game, we were absolutely terrible. And Clermont absolutely hammered us 4-0. Away from home. The boys were looking a little bit bereft of confidence. It wasn't going our way fully in the league. We needed to turn it around if we were to survive this season and finish in a decent place. And that's exactly what we started to do. We were 2-0 down in the derby game at home to Toulouse, and the fans were almost walking out the stadium, calling for Heim's head through the season. But we managed to rally, we managed to come back, we managed to push through the season, turning draws into wins and turning into a very good side in the league, showing our absolute composure and our willingness to get back into games and to turn games around and to push forward in the league. We were absolutely firing towards the end of the season, where we picked up a 9th place finish. The 9th place finish was truly justified. 46 points in our first season in Liga, and it's nothing to be sniffed at. 11 wins, 13 draws, 10 defeats, and surviving by a fair old margin. Narrowly missing out as well on European football. If we could just turn some of those draws into wins next season, we would be absolutely flying. We would need to make some great signings, and we would need to push forward if we're going to ever break PSG's dominance. An unbeaten season for them, 101 goal difference, 98 points. They were looking like they were going to be unstoppable going into the third season. The third season had rolled around and we knew we had to do something to strengthen the spine of the team, and that's exactly what we did in the transfer market. This season we had no transfer budget. We bought in players like Lucien Aguame on a free transfer from Inter. What a player he has been for me on previous saves. Dennis Mann is another player. Romanian talented winger, will be our best winger. Competition for Johan Cabral out on the right-hand side. Another player I absolutely love and I feel will be a key player for this Bordeaux side is Taylor Harwood-Bellis. The forward Man City graduate will offer big support at the back. But the main signing this summer has been Mykola Sharapenko. This guy brings absolute top-notch quality to the middle of the park. We've strengthened the spine. This is all we can do. We're hoping to finish higher than 9th this season. Let's see how we got on. This season was defined by our cup run, and we went on an absolute amazing one. In the quarterfinal, we came up against old enemies QRM. We put them to the sword 3-2, going 3-0 up in the process of this game. They did come back to score 2 late goals, but we held on. We went through to a semi-final where we played French giants Nice. Goals from Eddie Salcedo and Dennis Mann put us into our first ever French Cup final in control of Bordeaux, and Salcedo looking like a prime Filippo Inzaghi, putting the ball past Butchka in goal to make it 1-0. And we wasn't done there. Dennis Mann wanted to wrap up the game in the 82nd minute with summer signing Alan Velasco getting involved in the goal as well. He made the space and a great pass from that man Sharapenko to Mann to set up a final against Toulouse. The derby game in the final was upon us. Toulouse were not in form for this game. We were the side that were virtually in a similar level of form, but just slightly better than them. Two teams you didn't think would make it to a French Cup final, but have. And setting up a derby game against Toulouse in the final would be absolutely big. It was make or break for Heim at Bordeaux. First blood was drew to Bordeaux, and it was that man, Eddie Salcedo. Pedro Diaz with a great run finds Salcedo, and he just doesn't miss from there. 1-0 Bordeaux. We absolutely stunk out the place with a 1-0 win. No major chances after that. We just held on for the 1-0. 74,000 people cheering and booing from the other Toulouse fans. But we've done it. We've won our first French Cup in only 3 seasons in charge of Bordeaux, which secures us European football for the following season. We've got some big transfer targets to go for, but at this moment, the boys are just going to enjoy their success And what a success it is, beating your biggest rivals in a French Cup final. That French Cup win capped off an unbelievable season for us. We managed to finish 4th and get UEFA Europa League football for the following season. An absolute great achievement for the football club. We were so close to finishing in Champions League positions, but Marseille pipped us at the end. As you can see, 10 draws, 17 wins, 7 defeats. If only we could turn some of those draws into wins, we would be absolutely flying in the French league. We did bring in a couple of players in the January transfer window, which I will show you quickly before we move on to season 4. We brought in Alan Velasco on a free transfer. This guy is absolutely cracked. What a player he is for this football club, and what a player he will be for this football club. We needed a solid midfield player, and we brought in Alexander Pavlovich on loan, and he has guided our side from the regista position to a French Cup title and European football in only our 3rd season. What a season it was. The 4th season is now upon us. The 4th season was mainly come down to our form in the Europa League. It was a season of joy for us as we progressed through the competition in fine form, not dropping any points along the way in the group stage, picking up a 16-round tie against Cologne, beating them 3-2 on aggregate as well. And it sets up some interesting ties in the future, but our run culminated in a semi-final against Bilbao for a chance to make the Europa League final in our first time of asking. And Bilbao were really put to the sword over 2 legs. 6-1 is the aggregate score, but we absolutely outshone them and made ourselves aware that this could be another trophy we could pick up for Bordeaux in only our 1st season of European football. We were bringing the French giants back to the big time, but a Premier League giant stood in our way in the final, and for me, it was a big derby game. It was none other than the club that I support, Tottenham Hotspur, in the Europa League final. A bittersweet game for me as we played a team that I have loved since a kid, but as manager of Bordeaux, we need to bring home the gold, and we had the chance to do that in a big major European final. We knew the final was going to be tense and tough, and we didn't help ourselves in the first 5 minutes by going 1-0 down in this game, but we came back into the game late on in the 68th minute from a corner. It was cleared out and we were first on the ball. Sharapenko picking the ball up into Delors, and Delors finds Velasco after a cruel deflection from the Spurs defender. We would go in front right at the start of additional time. Again, Eddie Salcedo, the next Pipo Inzaghi, putting us in front in the game. Lacroix found Anderson Arroyo, but Arroyo's mistake led Brennan Johnson to break down the right, and Troy Parrott didn't miss. He was on fire there, but we were not to be denied in this game. The Bordeaux spirit, Vipotnik came on for a tired Salcedo, found Lacroix, and picked that out for a winner to win a trophy. It was one of the most back and forth finals you will ever see on Football Manager, but Bottle Job FC have bottled it again, and Bordeaux take home our first European trophy in this rebuild. We only have the 1 season to go, but we won't rest on our laurels. We'll push PSG all the way next year. But sit back, relax, and enjoy Bordeaux winning the UEFA Europa League. I have to say, this is one of my biggest achievements on Football Manager, and I absolutely love that we did it against the club that I support. What an unbelievable season we had, winning the Europa League, if you've just seen, and finishing 3rd in the league. Better than we had done last time. PSG remained the dominant side with incredible goal difference and points tally there. This season, the transfers were very strong. We brought in players like Enzo Laffi on a small fee, and I was absolutely gassed to have him at the football club this year. Bajacek came in on loan towards the back end of the season. We do need some quality in the middle of the park, and if we get a good transfer budget, that is where we will go. Igo Ogbu was very good. Free transfer from Slavia Prague, is now our best defender. The Nigerian looks absolutely cracked as he helped us pick up that Europa League trophy. We did sell a lot of players this year as well. Thomas Handel going out of the football club to the Middle East, and Emeric de Boissy gone as well. This was a memorable season for Bordeaux. Going into the last year, we are having our towels up and we are ready for war with PSG. This season again was defined by our cup run, and we kicked it off in the quarterfinals with a 1-0 win against Nice. And that set up a tricky semi-final against French giants Monaco, in which we went in front through Eddie Salcedo. Would it be anyone else? Finesse finished past the goalkeeper to put us in front in this game. But Monaco are a very strong side, and Webster's ball
over the top to Latasca. He run down the wing, found Florian Balogun to equalise in the 66th minute. And it was all Monaco after this. We were looking to make our second French final. And Arroyo found Andrea Cambiasso, who did bits to finish that one off. We're in the final. In the final, we were drawn against Lille to finish off this rebuild. Would it be defeat or glory in our second French Cup final? We're aiming to win the second one, but Lille would have other ideas if they were to pick up the trophy for themselves. It was going to be a barnstorming game. The last game of Holdmyheim at Bordeaux. Can he provide the trophies that the Bordeaux fans are crying out for? Going in at half-time, it was a tight game as we were winning 2-1 with Fontaine picking up the first goal. And it was that man again, Eddie Salcedo, putting us 2-0 up, making an unbelievable run. And what a pass from Sharapenko to make it 2-0 to Bordeaux. Ultimately, it would come down to penalties, and Angel Gomez already missing one. Malcolm stepped up, and if Rodak saves, we have won the French Cup. Malcolm approaches. Can Malcolm put them back in the game? He can't, and it's Rodak's the hero, and Bordeaux win their second ever French Cup after a Jonathan David display that will never be forgotten. The Bordeaux boys line up again to pick up the trophy in the last minutes of the game. Penalty shootouts being so cruel. Bordeaux pick up their second French Cup, and it is outstanding achievement from Holdmyheim and his boys. So many trophies won during this rebuild. One of my favourite rebuilds I've done all year. What a way to end this video and to end this rebuild than none other than a French Cup victory. Before we round off this rebuild, I just wanted to show you we did manage to finish runners-up in our last season in Ligue, and we did pick up a UEFA Super Cup against Real Madrid. So we won a lot of trophies in this rebuild. Let me know in the comments which team you want to see rebuilt in FM24 or FM25 next. And if not, I'll see you on the next video.